There's a moment in every cultivation story where the hero chooses mercy, where he spares the villain, wins the girl, and becomes a legend. Fang Yuan watches that moment happen, and then he kills everyone anyway. Welcome to Reverend Insanity Volume 1, Qing Mao Mountain, the arc that redefined what a cultivation protagonist could be. If you're tired of heroes who forgive their enemies because it's the right thing to do, stick around. This one's for you. Fang Yuan doesn't start as a demon. He starts as a broke 16-year-old in a backwater village, carrying a secret that would break most people. He'd already lived 500 years. He'd already reached the peak of cultivation, battled heaven itself, and lost everything when the other venerables ganged up to kill him. His trump card, the Spring Autumn Cicada, let him restart his life at the beginning. So he's 16 again, with the memories of a demonic immortal and the cultivation resources of a peasant. You know that feeling when you're playing a video game for the second time and you know exactly where all the hidden items are? Fang Yuan invented that feeling. But here's the thing. He's not using that knowledge to be a hero. He's using it to win. Let's talk about Qing Mao Mountain because this place matters. It's a tiny speck in the Gu world, a backwater region where the strongest cultivators are rank 1 and rank 2 Gu masters. The whole mountain is controlled by 3 clans, the Gu Yue, the Bai, and the Qing. They fight over scraps, spirit springs, bamboo groves, the occasional rank 1 Gu worm. Fang Yuan is born into the Gu Yue clan as a commoner with average talent, or at least that's what everyone thinks. His aptitude test shows a C-grade talent, which means he'll struggle to reach rank 2 in his entire lifetime. The clan elders write him off. His own brother, Fang Zheng, gets an A-grade talent and becomes the golden child. And Fang Yuan, he smiles, says nothing, and starts planning. Because he knows something they don't. Talent doesn't matter when you've already walked the path once. The Gu world runs on Gu worms, magical insects that provide supernatural abilities. Think of them as cultivation Pokémon, except some of them eat your lifespan, some require you to murder people to feed them, and the best ones are literally illegal to own. Fang Yuan needs a foundation Gu to start cultivating, and he knows exactly which one to target, the Moonlight Gu. Every year, the clan gives promising youths a chance to refine one from the clan's hidden pool. Fang Yuan's brother gets first pick because of his A-grade talent. Fang Yuan gets last pick because of his C-grade, but here's where that 500-year memory pays off. He knows a secret path through the clan's back hills, a route to a hidden moonlight pool that nobody else has found in centuries. He doesn't argue. He doesn't complain. He just walks into the woods at midnight and takes what he needs. Now, most cultivation novels would have the protagonist find some heaven-defying treasure in that pool, a divine Gu that marks him as the chosen one. Fang Yuan finds exactly what he expected, a slightly better than average moonlight Gu. Nothing special, nothing legendary, just enough to get started. And that's the point. He's not relying on luck. He's relying on preparation, patience, and the willingness to do what others won't. He refines the Gu in secret, establishes his cultivation foundation, and starts building. Rank 1 in the Gu world is barely better than a mortal. You get slightly stronger, slightly faster, and you can use 1 or 2 weak abilities. Fang Yuan knows he needs to reach rank 2 before the clan's big competition, because that's when the real opportunities open up. The inheritance of the flower monk, the secret trials, the bloodbath that nobody talks about. The Gu Yue clan has a tradition. When youths reach a certain level, they compete in a ceremony called the Rising Dragon. The winner gets resources, status, and the attention of the clan elders. The losers get nothing. Fang Yuan's brother Fang Zheng walks through this competition like it's easy A-grade talent clan support, the best Gu worms money can buy. Fang Yuan scrapes by with his C-grade cover story and a handful of tricks nobody expects. He doesn't win outright. He doesn't need to. He places just high enough to get what he wants, and low enough that nobody sees him as a threat. Here's a question for you. Would you rather be the obvious genius who makes everyone nervous, or the forgettable loser who stabs first in the dark? Fang Yuan answered that question 500 years ago. Let's talk about the Flower Monk's inheritance, because this is where Volume 1 starts getting nasty. The Flower Monk was a rank 3 Gu master who died in Qing Mao Mountain decades ago, leaving behind a hidden inheritance, his techniques, his Gu worms, and his wealth. The 3 clans know about it, but they've never been able to crack the entrance. It requires a specific sequence, specific sacrifices, and a specific kind of ruthlessness. Fang Yuan knows all of this because he studied the inheritance in his previous life. He also knows that the Bai clan and the Qing clan are sending their own youths to claim it. So he makes a choice. He lets them open the way for him. He follows at a distance, lets them trigger the traps, solve the puzzles, and die in the process. And when they reach the final chamber, exhausted and wounded, Fang Yuan steps out of the shadows and thanks them for their service. This is the first real massacre of the novel, and it's not even the biggest one. The Bai clan disciples beg for mercy. They swear they'll forget everything, that they owe him their lives, that they'll never speak of this. A traditional hero would accept their oaths, gain loyal followers, and build a harem. Fang Yuan looks at them, calculates the risk of future revenge against the benefit of keeping them alive, and kills them all. Every single one. He doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't hate them. He just doesn't see any upside to letting them live, and he sees a significant downside. This is the psychological state that makes Reverend Insanity different from every other cultivation novel. Fang Yuan isn't evil for fun. He's not a sadist. He's a 500-year-old immortal who has learned that mercy is a luxury, and luxuries are for people who can afford to die. The inheritance gives Fang Yuan his first real advantage. The Flower Monk's signature Gu worm, the Flower Bud Gu, which enhances his healing abilities, and a cache of primeval stones, the currency of the cultivation world. But the real prize isn't material, it's information. The Flower Monk's notes detail a method to break through to rank 2 using a specific combination of Gu worms and a specific location on Qing Mao Mountain. Fang Yuan now has a timeline. He knows exactly when he needs to advance, exactly what resources he needs, and exactly who's going to try to stop him. Because here's the thing about going back in time, you don't just know the treasures, you know the betrayals, you know which elder is going to sell out the clan, you know which friend is going to plant a knife in your back, and Fang Yuan uses that knowledge with zero hesitation. Back at the Gu Yue clan, politics are heating up. The clan leader is old, his heir is weak, and the elders are circling like vultures. Fang Yuan watches this from the margins, deliberately forgettable, deliberately pathetic. He cultivates in secret, trades information when it benefits him, and lets the bigger fish eat each other. There's a moment where an elder tries to recruit him as a pawn, promises resources, protection, a bright future. Fang Yuan accepts everything, gives nothing in return, and quietly arranges for that elder to be exposed for the traitor he is. Not because Fang Yuan cares about clan loyalty, he doesn't, but because a dead traitor creates chaos, and chaos creates opportunities for people who are ready. The elder dies screaming. Fang Yuan gets promoted to fill the power vacuum. It's not personal, it's just efficient. Now we need to talk about Fang Zheng because the brother relationship is one of the most interesting threads in Volume 1. Fang Zheng genuinely loves his brother. He looks up to him, defends him, tries to share his own resources and status. In any other novel, this would be the emotional core, the loyal brother who helps the protagonist rise. Fang Yuan sees Fang Zheng's love as irrelevant. Not annoying, not precious, just irrelevant to his goals. He uses Fang Zheng's trust to access restricted areas. He accepts gifts he never plans to repay. And when Fang Zheng's a great talent makes him a target for rival clans, Fang Yuan doesn't rush to protect him. He calculates whether saving his brother helps or hurts his own position. The answer changes depending on the chapter. That's the horror of it. Fang Yuan isn't cartoonishly evil. He's just empty. And that emptiness is what makes him effective. The middle of Volume 1 is a slow build. Fang Yuan gathering resources, breaking through to rank 2, establishing a network of minor pawns who think they're using him. He acquires the Munglo Gu, which enhances his offensive power, and the White Boar Gu, which strengthens his physique. Neither is rare, neither is impressive, but combined with his 500-year combat experience, they make him deadly against opponents who underestimate him, and everyone underestimates him. That's the running joke of Qing Mao Mountain. The clan thinks he's a C-grade loser. The rival clans think he's a non-entity. The elders think he's a useful idiot. By the time anyone realizes he's been playing a completely different game, they're already dead. The Spring Autumn Cicada isn't his only advantage. His real advantage is that everyone else is playing the short game while he's playing the long one. Let's pause and define a cultivation term because the Gu world has its own logic and it's important. Primeval essence is the energy that fuels everything in this world. You absorb it from the environment, store it in your aperture, think of it as your internal cultivation battery, and expend it to activate Gu worms. Rank 1 Gu masters have a tiny aperture, barely enough for a few techniques. Rank 2 gets you a bigger pool. Rank 3 makes you an elder in a backwater clan. Rank 4 and above are basically myths in places like Qing Mao Mountain. Fang Yuan is currently rank 2, which means he's dangerous but not invincible. He can kill a dozen rank 1s. He can run from a rank 3. He cannot, under any circumstances, fight a rank 4. This limitation drives every decision he makes. He doesn't take risks he can't calculate. He doesn't fight fair. He doesn't fight at all unless he's already won before the first move. The second major arc of Volume 1 involves the Bai clan's young master, Bai Ningbing. And I need to be careful here because this character is a landmine of spoilers, but let's focus on what matters for Volume 1. Bai Ningbing is a genius, a great talent, incredible combat instincts, the kind of youth who makes elders nervous because he's too good too fast. He's also completely amoral in a different way from Fang Yuan, where Fang Yuan is cold calculation. Bai Ningbing is hot chaos. They clash multiple times across Qing Mao Mountain, and each encounter teaches Fang Yuan something important, not about friendship, not about rivalry, about the specific techniques Bai Ningbing uses, the specific weaknesses in his style, and the specific moment when he'll be most vulnerable. Fang Yuan doesn't want a rival, he wants data. And Bai Ningbing gives him plenty. There's a massacre coming. I need you to understand that, because Volume 1 builds toward one of the most shocking moments in cultivation fiction. The three clans have been in a cold war for generations, skirmishing at the edges, trading insults, occasionally killing a few low-level disciples. That Cold War goes hot when the Gu Yue clan's ancestral Gu, the one that protects the entire mountain, starts failing. Without it, the clan is defenseless. The Bai and Qing clans know this. They prepare for total war, and Fang Yuan, who has known this was coming for 500 years, prepares differently. He doesn't warn anyone. He doesn't try to save the clan. He positions himself to profit from the collapse. This is the moment where many readers either commit to the novel or drop it entirely, because Fang Yuan could, with minimal effort, prevent hundreds of deaths. He chooses not to, not because he wants those deaths, because preventing them costs more than letting them happen. The war itself is brutal in a way that most cultivation novels avoid. Rank 1 and Rank 2 Gu masters die by the hundreds. Techniques that looked impressive in tournament duels get overwhelmed by sheer numbers. The Bai clan uses poison Gu to contaminate water supplies. The Qing clan sends suicide squads to burn villages. The Gu Yue clan elder council fractures under pressure, with half wanting to surrender and half wanting to fight to the last child. Fang Yuan moves through this chaos like a shark through bloody water. He saves specific people who have specific information. He kills specific enemies who have specific items. He avoids every major battle that doesn't benefit him directly. And when the Gu Yue clan leader finally falls, betrayed by his own brother, Fang Yuan is standing nearby. Not helping, not interfering, just watching and taking notes. Here's where I want to stop and ask you something. The Gu Yue clan took Fang Yuan in. They fed him, trained him, gave him the moonlight Gu that started his cultivation. They weren't good people. The clan system is exploitative. The elders are corrupt. The strong bully the weak. But they didn't personally wrong him. And when they fall, Fang Yuan doesn't lift a finger to help. He loots the corpses. Is that evil? Most cultivation heroes would die defending their sect. That's the trope. Fang Yuan looks at the math. Defending the sect gets him nothing, costs him everything, and the sect was doomed anyway, and he walks away. Reverend Insanity doesn't just break the hero mold. It asks whether the mold was ever rational. You might hate Fang Yuan for this. A lot of readers do. But you can't call him inconsistent. He's been telling you who he is since Chapter 1. The true horror of Volume 1 isn't the war. It's what Fang Yuan does after the war. The three clans are devastated. Bai Ningbing is presumed dead. The Gu Yue clan is effectively extinct. And Fang Yuan, who started as a C-grade commoner, is now one of the strongest remaining cultivators on Qing Mao Mountain through a combination of preparation, ruthlessness, and the willingness to let everyone else die first. But he's not satisfied. Qing Mao Mountain was always a stepping stone. The real world, the central continent, the northern plains, the regions where Rank 6 and Rank 7 Gu immortals play their games, is waiting. And Fang Yuan knows that if he wants to survive in that world, he needs more than a few Rank 2 Gu worms and a mountain of corpses. He needs a real inheritance, a real power base, a real reason for stronger immortals to notice him. So he makes a choice that sets up the entire rest of the series. The Spring Autumn Cicada gets mentioned again here, and I need to explain why it's so important beyond the time travel. This Gu worm is a Rank 6 legend, one of the most powerful and most dangerous Gu in existence. Using it doesn't just send you back in time. It consumes your entire accumulated cultivation, your lifespan, and a significant chunk of your soul. Fang Yuan used it once to escape death at the hands of other venerables. He cannot use it again unless he's willing to start completely over. So it's not a safety net, it's a last resort. And knowing he has it, knowing he survived one restart, changes his psychology completely. He can take risks that would break other people because the absolute worst-case scenario, death, is still better than what he's already survived. This is why he seems fearless. It's not courage. It's already having experienced the worst outcome and decided it was acceptable. Volume 1 ends with Fang Yuan leaving Qing Mao Mountain. He doesn't look back. He doesn't mourn the clan that raised him, the friends he never made, the brother who loved him. He walks toward the wider Gu world with a handful of Gu worms, a head full of 500-year knowledge, and absolutely no emotional attachments. The final chapters set up Volume 2. The Qing Mao Mountain arc is over, but the real story is just beginning. Fang Yuan needs to reach Rank 3, then Rank 4, then the immortal realm beyond. He needs to acquire Gu worms that can kill immortals. He needs to build a reputation that makes people fear him without understanding him. And he needs to do all of this while hiding the fact that he's a time traveler, because if the true powers of this world learn about the Spring Autumn Cicada, they'll hunt him to extinction. The demon of Qing Mao Mountain is leaving his nest. And the cultivation world has no idea what's coming. Now I promised you a comparison, and here it is. Take Meng Hao from I Shall Seal the Heavens, great character, great novel. But Meng Hao starts as a scholar, builds friendships, joins sects, and repeatedly risks his life to protect people he cares about. Put Meng Hao in Fang Yuan's position during the Qing Mao Mountain War. He dies defending the Gu Yue clan, heroically, uselessly. The clan still falls, Meng Hao still dies, and nothing changes. Or take Linley from Coiling Dragon. Linley would find some hidden power-up, unlock his bloodline at the last second, and save everyone through sheer protagonist luck. That's fun to read. It's not realistic. Fang Yuan doesn't have a hidden bloodline. He doesn't have plot armor. What he has is information, patience, and the willingness to let other people die so he doesn't have to. Reverend Insanity argues that this is what survival actually looks like. You might not like the argument, but you can't say it's not coherent. Let's talk about the Gu worms Fang Yuan actually uses in Volume 1 because the detail matters. The Moonlight Gu creates blade-like energy attacks, basic, reliable, nothing special. The Moonglow Gu enhances those attacks with corrosive properties. The White Boar Gu passively strengthens his body, making him tougher than he looks. The Flower Bud Gu provides regeneration, which saves his life at least twice. And the Spring Autumn Cicada. Well, we've covered that one. None of these are legendary. None of them would impress a real immortal. But Fang Yuan combines them with tactics that shouldn't work at his level. He feigns weakness to lure enemies close. He poisons weapons in advance. He sets traps using terrain knowledge from his previous life. He wins fights he should lose because he's not fighting the way his opponents expect. In the Gu world, information is power. Fang Yuan has 500 years of it. There's a scene near the end of Volume 1 that I keep coming back to. Fang Yuan finds a dying elder from the Gu Yue clan, someone who actually showed him minor kindness years ago. The elder asks for help, begs for water, for healing, for anything. Fang Yuan has water. He has healing Gu. He has time at that moment to spare. He looks at the elder, calculates that saving him provides no future benefit and risks revealing his true strength, and walks away. The elder curses him with his final breath. Fang Yuan doesn't react. Not angry, not guilty, not proud. Just nothing. And that's the scene that breaks people. Because we've all read novels where the hero saves the dying elder, gets a secret reward, and everyone cheers. Fang Yuan gets nothing and gives nothing, and the elder dies alone. The novel doesn't frame this as a tragedy or a triumph. It just frames it as what happened. And that neutrality is more disturbing than any villain monologue could be. I want to address something because if you're still watching, you're probably either fascinated or furious. Fang Yuan is not the author inserting his own philosophy. The novel repeatedly shows that Fang Yuan's approach has costs he doesn't acknowledge. He has no friends, no lovers, no one who would mourn him if he died. His brother's love, which he treated as irrelevant, was genuine and could have been a foundation for something. He will never experience trust or comfort or the relief of being known. The novel doesn't celebrate this. It presents it as the price of his specific path. And here's the thing, most readers, when they imagine themselves in the Gu world, don't choose Fang Yuan's path. They want to be strong and loved. They want to win and be good. Reverend Insanity exists partly to ask whether that's possible, and to show what happens when someone gives up on the second part entirely. The pacing of Volume 1 deserves mention, because it's deliberately slow compared to what comes later. The author, Gu Yue, is establishing a foundation. Every minor character introduced on Qing Mao Mountain matters later in the story. Every seemingly random detail about Gu worm refinement becomes relevant in Volume 3 or 4. The clan politics that feel small and petty. That's practice for the immortal-level politics that make Qing Mao Mountain look like children arguing over toys. If you're reading Reverend Insanity and finding Volume 1 a bit slow, that's fair. But trust that nothing is wasted. Fang Yuan's first kill, his first theft, his first betrayal, they're all templates that get repeated at larger scales. The demon doesn't change as he grows. The world just finally catches up to his size. Before we wrap, let me give you the specific chapter structure for context. Volume 1 covers roughly chapters 1 through 200 of the web novel, though exact numbering varies by translation. The Qing Mao Mountain arc is complete. It has a beginning, middle, and end that functions as a standalone story. You could theoretically stop here and have experienced something complete, but nobody stops here, because the final chapters seed mysteries that demand answers. What happened to Bai Ningbing, really? What is the true nature of the Spring Autumn Cicada? Who were the venerables that killed Fang Yuan in his first life, and do they know he's back? These aren't teased vaguely. They're set up with specific details that pay off hundreds of chapters later. This is a novel that respects your attention. It doesn't cheat. It doesn't forget its own setup. And that makes the payoff when it comes hit like a truck. So here's my question to you, and I genuinely want to see this in the comments. If you had Fang Yuan's knowledge, if you knew your clan was going to be destroyed in a war you couldn't prevent, would you try to save people anyway? Knowing it might cost you your life, your resources, your chance at the bigger world. Or would you do exactly what Fang Yuan did, position yourself to survive and let the tragedy happen? There's no right answer that works for everyone. Some of you are saying you'd save the clan because you couldn't live with yourself otherwise. Some of you are already calculating the optimal looting route. And both responses are valid, that's the point. Reverend Insanity doesn't tell you what to choose. It just shows you what choosing efficiency over everything else actually looks like. And it's uglier than most cultivation novels are willing to admit. Let's do a quick recap, because this was a lot. Fang Yuan is a 500-year-old demonic immortal sent back to his teenage body via the Spring Autumn Cicada. He starts on Qing Mao Mountain, a backwater region controlled by 3 weak clans. He cultivates in secret, using future knowledge to acquire better resources than his C-grade talent should allow. He survives the rising dragon competition, claims the Flower Monk's inheritance, and massacres rival disciples who would have killed him later. When the three clans go to war, he doesn't pick a side. He lets them destroy each other and profits from the chaos. He leaves Qing Mao Mountain with power, knowledge, and absolutely no attachments. That's Volume 1. That's the foundation. And if you think that's dark, I need to tell you that Volume 2 introduces a character who makes Fang Yuan look sentimental. But that's for the next episode. The final thing I want to leave you with is this. Reverend Insanity is banned in China. The official web novel was pulled from platforms, the author faced pressure, and the only way to read it now is through fan translations and archived copies. It was banned partly for violence, partly for sexual content that comes later, but mostly, and this is my read because Fang Yuan is too coherent. He's not a villain who loses because he's evil. He's a protagonist who wins because he's rational, and that rationality leads him to places that official censors found uncomfortable. A hero who kills for patriotism is fine. A hero who kills for efficiency is dangerous. Volume 1 is just the introduction. The real transgression comes later, and if this channel keeps going, we're going to cover all of it. If you made it this far, you're either already a fan or you're about to become one. Subscribe for the Volume 2 breakdown, where Fang Yuan leaves the backwater and enters the real cultivation world. We'll cover Rank 3 and 4 breakthroughs, the introduction of Gu Immortals, and the first time Fang Yuan does something so morally inverted that even I had to put the book down for a minute. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. And let me know in the comments, did Volume 1 make you root for Fang Yuan, or did it make you want to see him fail? Either way, thanks for watching. This is Shad Wuxia. I'll see you in the next one.